Welcome back to the channel, troopers. The other day, the devs released a roadmap post, and I just got my new mic in the mail, so I think it's a great time to go through the roadmap, commenting both on where we've been and where we're headed. Do you want to know more? There are currently 8 phases of the roadmap shared with us, and since the early access release, we're currently midway through phase 3 from what I understand. As always with posts like this, content is subject to change. This is the nature of the beast of early access drip feed development. Phase 1 was the launch that was about 8 months ago, the introduction of the Assault and Secure modes and the Arc Slam mode. Not much to say here other than I remembered when the game launched and in-game comms were full of one-liners from the movie. It might be one of the better moments of co-op gaming I've experienced where everyone was enthusiastically taking down hordes of arachnids all while having a similar reaction to the sheer numbers that were on screen at one time, really instilling that iconic moment from the movie. Phase 2 brought mutators, horde mode, profile and stats, the manned heavy machine gun, and the new playable zone and Valaka map. Mutators brought a lot of good variety to the game, and to my understanding, it is only available on veteran mode currently. It helped make it a bit less stale, but in my opinion, there is still something missing. Something to give it that extra bit of edge to help make the gameplay loop not so monotonous. Horde is wonderful. For those who don't want to worry about the gas mining and transporting and just want to have a bare bones base building and survive experience. Profiles and stats are always fun to have, so that was a solid update. The manned machine guns. Where do I begin? It was a very much sought after update and has had its changes since being released, starting with needing repairs to keep it operational to just needing the ammo to be topped off. Which version do you most prefer? Personally, both were fine. I myself never aspired to be behind the HMG myself, but definitely found myself in the supporting role to help whoever was manning it. And finally, the new playable zone and Valaka. Variety is the spice of life which we all need, and so does this game. Phase 3, which we are currently in right now, lists ability upgrades, hives and hive hunts, a reward system, new planet, player customization, new weapons, and new bugs. All in all, I think this phase helped flesh out the current 3 classes fairly well. The shotgun being introduced has been a long desired weapon, and maybe we'll see an underbarrel upgrade or attachment in the future. Hive launched as a fairly difficult new mode and has since been tweaked to not be so punishing or near impossible. I managed to get a few victories through that mode before the updates and changes, but definitely felt myself gravitating back towards Horde and Arc mode personally. Now if they add special in-game mini-missions for smaller versions of the Hive, that might be an interesting concept, but I'm not sure how the rest of the community would react to it. It could be entirely ignored and they continue staying on the surface, since it wouldn't be a needed thing to accomplish in order to finish the mission. What do you think? The reward system seems to be in a good place, but I hope it will be explored in more depth, for both class and profile unlocks for both utility and cosmetics. Then we have the new planet, yay, more variety. Player customization, because we all love to be special, unique, outstanding little troopers while we're smashing bugs, don't we? New weapons, the shotgun, sniper, etc. All good additions, and hope to see more of those, as well as attachments and augments, etc. in the future. The new bugs, always great to see new bugs, new types, new challenges. With Agni Prime, I felt the giant firebug was a cool, dangerous concept, but the rest were pretty forgettable. Not that every planet has to have crazy new bugs, but I'm looking forward to see what else they can come up with, and maybe bring from the movies and other media that came before the game. Moving on to Phase 4, which is slated for completion by winter of 2024, we see things such as performance and optimizations, FSR3, DLSS, Nanite, and Lumen. These all look to be cleaning up the game to help it run more smoothly, updating the overall quality and making sure the game runs smoothly for as many people as possible. It's good that they're working to address this and do what they can for the community, and I hope in turn it works out for the community. Phase 5, which is slated for completion by spring of 2024, we have Clans, Galactic War, Class Abilities 2.0/revamp, which is more than likely the Vanguard update, Global Death Counter, and new class weapons. Clans will be a nice addition, and I'm curious to see how that'll work out. Maybe we'll get an experience bonus for completing missions with clanmates in the team, and of course, we're going to see all the roughneck variations imaginable, so stay creative and original, troopers, or I'll send your ass to washout lane myself. Galactic War sounds awesome, maybe trying to do a long-form campaign over the available planets one at a time. We're completing objectives, and at the end you get sweet rewards in the form of, well, who knows, cosmetics, experience boosts, special profile badges, and so on. Vanguard update seems to be the meat and potatoes of Phase 5, which I'm sure we are all eager and excited for, to get our hands on the new classes, the new weapons, the new utilities, and more. The global death counter will be awesome and fun, especially knowing that you're doing your part to contribute to that ever-growing number. Phase 6 is slated for the summer of 2024, and that brings a new planet, new hive hunts, and a new galactic war campaign. The new planet and galactic war campaign further help me believe that it'll be a planet-to-planet objective-based game mode that should be co-op based, but I'm not entirely sure. It could have more or less players than what we're normally seeing. And if we end up having more players, since it's a technical war, then we might see even more bugs on the battlefield, which will be interesting. New hive hunts will be interesting as well, so maybe we'll see more variety and perhaps a revamp of how hive hunts work. And who knows, maybe one day we'll see the ever-elusive brain bug. Phase 7 is slated for the fall of 2024 with another planet, special weapon swapping, emotes, more gore, a boss bug, the raid initiative, new bugs, new solo experiences, and a new play space. This one is full of exciting content, and it'll be fun to see if the team can do their part to meet this deadline. This whole year actually is full of content, looking back at all the other phases and what we've gone over. Special weapons make me think it'll be something like the rockets that we get from completing those mini objectives, so we'll see more variety of those and how we get to interact with those, so that is pretty exciting. Not to rip off an IP, but something like the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War would be an interesting idea. Maybe instead call it God's Magnifying Glass or Mjolnir. Emotes, because what's more fun than busting a funky dance move over the bodies of your comrades before picking them back up again? More gore, because what's more fun than seeing more gore and bloodshed on the battlefield? For the bugs, of course. It's not like I want to see limbs and heads of my brethren littered all over the base. No, not at all. Now the boss bug. Is this the brain bug? Are we doing the brain bug? Or could it be the giant beetle from the movie, where we have to get on its back and take it down with a well-placed explosive from within? I will eagerly await this update with bated breath. Will you? The raid initiative sounds like it could be a special operations game mode, or a squad-specific mini-objective while you're on the main maps, where you go out and handle a specific task or threat, and doing so has great rewards but also comes at great risk. Or perhaps this is where we get to see that solo player experience. At this point we're just left to speculate and wonder, but what do you think it'll be? Let me know below. And finally we have new bugs and new spaces, which again is always a welcome addition with updates and changes. And finally with Phase 8, which is slated for 2025, and likely where anything left over from Phases 3 through 7 will also find its place if it doesn't get completed this year. We have more special weapons, class weapons, bugs, playable zones, 2 more planets, more galactic war campaigns, more trooper classes, marauder support, and the player hub. Not much to say here other than more content. What stands out for me here is the marauder support and the player hub. The player hub seems to be like a lobby space where we can reside in, maybe like the capital ships before we get deployed down to the various planets, maybe a place where you can also meet up and hang out with your clanmates and do some recruiting, and so on. Marauder support stands out as possibly a more reliable means for dealing with issues within the game, perhaps like moderator support. But maybe there's more to it and I'm missing the mark on that one. Hey, it's me from the future. So I looked it up and it looks like the Marauder Mark II is a sort of battle mech from the Starship Troopers 3 movie Marauder that will likely be something we can call down, and maybe it'll be AI support, or even someone can man it and take on the bugs on the battlefield. So yeah, it's not necessarily support, but I mean, if the developers decide to call their moderator team the Marauders, then that would be pretty cool too, but I don't think that's the case. And that wraps up this dive into the roadmap update. Definitely a bit longer than most videos, so if you made it this far, Trooper, I thank you for your time. What are your thoughts on all that was covered? What are you most looking forward to? Personally, I just want to get my hands on the new classes and check out the Galactic War Map mode, and maybe even see what this boss bug is all about. Anyways, thank you for watching, and remember, service guarantees citizenship.